This is why I think business brokering is better than real estate. We get 10% commissions on deals up to $4 or $5 million. Sometimes at 4 or 5 million, we can get 7, 8%. We usually get 10% commission. You need someone like me that I can get you way more money than if you try to sell it yourself. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And we're going to jump into this webinar. And on this webinar, I'm going to be going over a few different things. I'm going to be going over an intro about me first, why I'm putting together this community, this big community where you see other social media influencers doing it, like Cody Sanchez, Alex Hermosi. They're putting these communities together. But I want to put communities together because I have real deals and I have real life examples that I can get you involved in, no matter what you do. And I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about me and how I got started and how I got into this business. Because I was not always a business broker. I used to work in a pizzeria. I was delivering pizza for a living, working paycheck to paycheck, living at my mom's house, and I was broke as a joke. I used to drive a hoopty before I met my wife. I used to drive a hoopty. I used to change tires on pizza deliveries, but I always had a dream. I've always had a dream, and now I'm at the point in my career where I look back and I'm still the same person. So I started out at a pizzeria. I knew everything about a pizzeria. I knew all the back end on a pizzeria. I knew how to cook. I knew how to make pizza. I knew how to manage a store. And I was all in on that. From 16 to 21, I was working. And one day I was on a delivery and I dropped off a pie to a business broker. And this guy was an OG in the business, doing it for 50 years. And I walked into his office and he told me I could sell pizzerias. And now at that time, I was 21 years old. I had my real estate license and I was like, I could sell pizzerias. I was renting apartments on the side. And I realized just from him, I could sell pizzerias. I could make a 10% fee on a deal. That's unbelievable. So I started working with him a little bit. And then I sold my first pizzeria working with him. And I'm like, wow, I just made $20,000 in one deal. I gotta quit. I gotta just take the leap. I'm 21 years old. I have nothing to lose. Let's go. So I went all in on this. I started selling pizzerias. My first pizzeria was Bella Bambina's in Oakdale. Made about 20K. Sold a few other pizzerias, then got into car washes, laundromats, hotels. Fast forward years later, I sold an $85 million hotel. I sold over 100 car washes worth hundreds of millions, made a ton of money doing it. And now I'm at the point where I'm buying deals, I'm investing in deals, and I'm showing others and I'm changing lives on how to sell businesses. I'm changing so many lives from Hedgestone, my company Hedgestone. And now I want to just give back I want to build a community. And that's why we're all here today, is to learn about this community. So there's different segments of this webinar. It's going to be about a 35, 40-minute webinar. So don't leave. Just letting people in. We're going to first talk about business brokering. Then we're going to talk about the process of business brokering. Then we're going to talk about deals that I had that you can invest in right now with me and partner with me. And then we're going to talk about what's next, the car wash university that I'm started. I own car washes. I'm going to hold universities at car washes. I'm going to train you on due diligence and how to do businesses. I'm going to give you the coolest, the most value add information that you'll get from anyone. But let's kick it off right now with the business broker. So right now there are 30 million businesses in the United States, all of America, and 20% are for sale at all times. I say this on my videos. So that means there's 6 million businesses for sale. 80% of them don't sell. That's it. But I'm here to make that lower. So there's about 2 million active real estate agents. There's about 10,000 business brokers, and Hedgestone has about 200 right now. And we're growing every year, we're growing. But this is not about Hedgestone. Everyone that's in Hedgestone is in Hedgestone. This is about if you want to sell businesses, I'll teach you how to sell businesses. I'll teach you how to get incorporated. I'll teach you how to make commissions. I'm here to mentor you. And it's not about joining Hedgestone. It's about starting your own business, investing in deals, learning from me, asking questions, and just getting better. So This is the process. This is why I think business brokering is better than real estate. We get 10% commissions on deals up to $4 or $5 million. Sometimes at 4 or 5 million, we can get 7-8%, but we usually get 10% commissions. So whether we get a deal for $1 million, it's $100,000 commission. Say it's a 50% seller financing deal. We still get, even if they come to the table with 500,000, we still get 100,000 up front. That's the beautiful thing about it. There's no third-party banks most of the times. Most of the times it's seller financing, quick deals. Some deals can take 2-3 months. Some deals, I'm doing a logistics deal, it took 18 months. But that deal is a very heavy commission. Other deals are lighter commissions. It can vary, but you can make a lot of money selling businesses. I want to go over the process from start to finish on how to get leads, how to get listings, to selling the deal. So this is the process, everyone. First, before I start, does anyone have any questions? Any questions, toss it in the chat. Before I start, get into the process. If you have any questions, throw it in the chat. All right, so let's jump into it. So the name of the game in this business, this is the secret sauce, everyone. It's not complicated. Listings, listings, listings. You need listing agreements signed. That's all that matters. Listings, listings, listings. How do you get listings? That's the hardest part of this business. If you get 1,000 listings, a good broker should sell between 300 and 400 of those listings. A decent broker can sell 20%. But how do you get listings? I'm going to teach you how. There's a few different methods. Everyone write this down. Obviously, you should put a spreadsheet together of everybody who you know, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your workers, your ex-boss, anybody you know, put a spreadsheet together, name, phone number, email, hit them all up, let them know what you do. Whatever business brokerage company you work for, let them know what you do, and you'll get a referral out of that. I guarantee you'll get at least one referral out of that if you tell them that you started selling businesses. So that's the first step. Second step, I would focus on 2 to 3 different industries. So if you're a real estate agent on this call, you should focus on mom and pop businesses. I would say pizzerias, bagel stores. Bagel stores are great because the hours are great. Everything has their pros and cons. 2 or 3 similar industries: pizzerias, bagel stores, laundromats, car washes, supermarkets. Pick 2 or 3 industries, and I would hit them. I would go to every website, and I would go into the contact forms. I'll train you more on this, if you continue with me. And basically on the contact forms, I would say, I wrote it down, I represent several interested buyers looking to purchase a business like yours. And I was wondering if you had any interest in selling. Please let me know a good time to discuss. That's simple. You send that message to them. From that message, 5 out of 100 will hit you up and will say, let's talk, I'm interested. Then from that, you have to know how to evaluate a business, which we'll get into. That's one method. Second method is mailers. Sending that message out in a mailer to businesses, and they'll respond back to you. They'll either call you, text you, put your direct cell phone number on there, tell them you have an interested buyer, because there's always buyers, and they will hit you up. Also mailers. You can slip mailers under doors at night. That's even a higher response rate. Another good tactic is walking in businesses and shaking hands and getting past the gatekeeper, the manager. And I have podcasts and videos and all that on how to do that. So those are the real methods of getting listings. So you could do a website contact form with what I just went over, and I can put that in the chat if you like. You could do mailers. You put together your spreadsheet, you send drop notes, and you walk into businesses. Those 5 things. Anybody have questions? Put it in the chat. Okay. So you get the listing. They're interested. Yes, I want to talk. I have a pizzeria. I do 15,000 a week. Okay, you do 15,000 a week. How long you been in business for? You get the evaluation. Once you give them the evaluation, Then once you agree, then you send a listing agreement. And we could talk about evaluations all day. That's in another webinar. But you get the listing agreement signed. I have a question right now. Do you teach how to do all the paperwork? Absolutely. So I always go for exclusive listing agreements. No, I want to keep this up with this. I always go for exclusive listing agreements. Everything I do is exclusive. I don't want anyone coming in and trying to take my business away from me. I need to control. Everything about this business is control. Control, control, control. So I lock them up with the exclusive listing agreement. I let them know who I am, my reach, how many buyers I have, what I've sold, what company I'm associated with. I give them all the credibility in the world. And the number one thing you got to do when you speak to sellers is preach confidentiality. Because that's the difference between real estate and business brokering. It's confidentiality. You cannot give away information because that's someone's livelihood. If I walk into a business and I start speaking to the chef of the pizzeria, the chef might get worried. He might walk out of the business. The owner might lose his chef. If he doesn't know how to cook, what's going to happen? So you, as a business broker, you got to pull the owner to the side. Look, if you're meeting him in person, let's talk to the side and discuss. So you get the listing agreement signed. Once the listing agreement is signed, then you set up your outreach. So for me, I can just put a story. I'm at the point now, I can put a story on my Instagram, and anyone that signs up with me today and works with me, I will promote you on my Instagram. I will give you buyer leads. I will help you succeed. That's why I'm doing this. I'm going to change lives, which I've done for Headstone, and I want to do for this community. So I'm gonna help you set up an outreach. I'm gonna teach you how to go after the competition. So if you have a pizzeria for sale, I'm gonna call the local competition and let them know that I have something in your area for sale. You have to sign an NDA if you want more information. Well, where is it, Mike? Which pizzeria? Listen, I can give it to you, but it's very confidential. I need you to sign an NDA. So that's the next step. Once you have interested people from after the outreach, you have to get NDA signed. Very important. Once you have an NDA signed, you must make sure they have the funds. I don't like wasting my time. Everyone says money is not the problem. Well, you know what? That's BS. Because they say that, and when it's time to put down a deposit, it is the problem. So I like to verify their proof of funds. Show me your bank statement. Show me anything. Show me a picture. I don't care. Show me anything to show me that you have that money. So once you verify them, once they sign the NDA, then you're gonna go tell them, listen, I want you to go to that pizzeria and I want you to get a slice. Do not say anything. You're under NDA. Do not say anything to anyone. If you're interested, you call me back after you eat your slice without talking to anyone, and then we'll set up a private meeting to meet the owner off-site or after hours at the pizzeria. So if they're interested, they're gonna call you, and then they're gonna meet you. They're going to call you. They're going to set up a meeting. They want to meet the owner. You should be there at the meeting. The owner and the buyer meet off-site or after hours. If they try to get each other's contact information, you stop them politely and you say, guys, everything goes through me. This is why I'm here. And you tell them before. You say, please don't give your information to the seller. Please don't give your information to the buyer. I'm gonna handle all negotiations. You got to really make sure of that because you got to control the deal. You can't let them talk directly. So they meet, you're there, he's interested. After the meeting, the buyer calls you. He's like, Mike, I like the pizzeria. I'm gonna offer, I know he's asking 150. I'm gonna offer 130 with 80 down. He'll hold a 50 note. I go back to the seller. I'm like, this is what he offered. The seller comes back to me. We negotiate and we get to an accepted offer. Okay. After the accepted offer, then we draft up, it's called a sales binder or LOI. We draft that up. We have both parties sign. And then we have the seller sign a second commission agreement. So we have an LOI signed. We have a commission agreement signed. We have a listing agreement signed. This is very important. You need all this paper trail because people try to screw you. Remember that in this business, in any business, people will try to screw you over. So you get all three of these signed. And remember, I'm going to give everyone who's who's part of this community, I'm going to give you all the paperwork you need. All this stuff is going to be given to you. This is the value I'm going to bring. So you're going to get everything signed. After you get it signed, you're going to get both attorneys, the buyer's attorney, the seller's attorney. Mike, do you have a good attorney for me? Absolutely. I have a great attorney for you. If they want an attorney, that's when my network is your network, people. You let me know if anyone needs an attorney. We'll get you a good attorney. We'll get the buyer and seller a good attorney. It's not a conflict of interest, and we'll help push the deal forward. The attorneys will draw a contract. We'll do a lease assignment if it's a lease. We'll get the landlord's attorney involved. We'll do a lease assignment, and then we'll close the deal. And that's the process from A to Z of closing a business transaction. And at the closing, you get your check and you hold it like this, and you're like, wow, I love this freaking business. But let's answer some questions right now. Do you teach how to do all the paperwork? Yes, I do. Anyone that joins this community, you will have access to everything. You will have a ton of value. How do you remain confident if you get the listing and do not have actual buyers when you're indicating you did in the initial phases? Okay, that's a great question, Jason Hartman. How do you remain confident if you get the listing and do not have actual buyers when indicating you did in the initial phases? Well, you ever hear the phrase, you fake it till you make it? You got to keep that confidence. You can have, if you price it well, the goal is to price these businesses well. How do you evaluate the businesses the right way? And that's what I teach you. I'm going to teach you how to evaluate these pizzerias. I'm going to teach you how to evaluate the hotels. I'm going to teach you how to evaluate healthcare deals. I'm going to teach you how to evaluate car washes. Once you get that evaluation down packed, the buyers will be there. That's the confidence you have to have. Someone asked, what about Facebook ads to get leads? Facebook ads are great. They're going to give you leads, but you're going to pay money. Everything I'm teaching you is free. Don't spend money if you don't have to. What percent of the asking price would you require to see via proof of funds? Another great question. So when I evaluate the business, I go over financing with the seller. If the seller has a car wash and I'm looking at his returns, I'm looking at his P&Ls, I'm looking at his numbers, and I see that no SBA lender will lend on this business. I see that no conventional lender. You can't get any financing. I push seller financing. That is the trick in this business, is seller financing. This is how I buy businesses, which we're going to get into later. You push seller financing, and then whatever amount they'll take down, so say they'll take 50% down, you got to see that in the proof of funds. Do you ever run into issues with the landlord lease terms? Yes. Great question, Anthony. So right now I'm selling a car wash in Queens. I just got the contract signed. It's a $7 million deal, just a business, huge car wash. It's a very big commission. And the owner of the business has been there for 30 years. And I spoke to the landlord today, and he sent me like a grocery list of what he needs for the buyer. And this is a little bit of an issue because this buyer is a cash guy. He's an auto repair guy. He's got cash. So now I got to put together a personal financial statement, which I'm going to teach all you how to do. This is all, you got to present it. You got to package it the right way. So even though he has the cash that he can't show, I'm going to package a nice PFS, which is a personal financial statement. I'm going to get references on what he owns. I'm going to put a nice package together, present it to the landlord. If there are issues, then you keep trying to find solutions to solve the issues. No matter what, there's always a solution to the problem. I've had to grease a landlord. One time I was selling a liquor store, I had to give $10,000 to a landlord, and it worked. I got a $70,000 commission. So no matter what, there's always a solution to a problem. How much difference do you typically see between asking price and offer price? Great question. So let me think about it. Every business is different. Like for an example, the car wash space, I typically see 5 to 10% difference in price. I'm selling a kitchen cabinet business. We were asking $899. We're selling it for $200,000. Not saying it's a bad business, but everyone's there has different motivations. So it really depends by industry. Restaurants, I see 10, 15%. So I would say anywhere between 5 and 15% is where the asking price will drop to the sales price. How long does a typical deal to close and commission to get paid out? Great question. So every deal is different. I would say on my car wash deals, 2 million to 10 million, I can get these deals done in 3 months and get paid out in 3 months. On bigger deals, like I sold that $85 million hotel. I have another big deal over 50 million that's closing soon. Those take years, 12 months. Pizzerias I've sold in 10 days. So it really depends on the type of business. If there's a landlord, there's a lease assignment, so that's another factor. So when you start out in a deal, it's the buyer, the seller, and you. 3 people, usually. Then you have to get the lawyers, so that's 5. Then you have to get the landlord's lawyer and the landlord, that's 7. And then if there's a SBA involved, which rarely happens, you have the lender's lawyer, the lender, then you have 15, 20 people with schedules. So every deal is different. I would say from 2 weeks for a small restaurant, which would be unbelievable. Like Nick Martello was on this call. He closed the laundromat in 10 days, Nick? One of your first deals? And
yeah, 10 to 12 days.
10 to 12 days?
Yeah, 10 to 12 it was.
Yeah, so it could be 10 to 12 to 18 months. Someone asked, do you use CAB? I don't know what CAB is. What's your plan to increase the amount of sellable businesses? Valuating them correctly. That's a great question. The way you're going to sell is to evaluate the businesses correctly. Do not overprice the businesses. If you overprice them, they're going to sit. That's why this is an important. You need to, if you're interested in this, you got to join the community today. This community is different from Headstone. We have a webinar Monday. It's a car wash university webinar. I'm bringing someone on with me that owns 10 car washes. I'm a partner in it. It's over $100 million portfolio. He's the CEO of the group. He's going to be talking about car wash due diligence. That's the next webinar. That's if anyone who joins, they'll be on that webinar. So this part of the webinar, we're going over business brokering. The next part, which I'm going to start in a few minutes, we're going to be going over live deals that I'm investing in, and if anyone wants to invest with me or learn. So let me just answer a few more questions. Someone asked if we have buyers off market for the auto shop in Texas. Oh no, I skipped one. Hold on. How important is having a real estate license if I have a registered corporation? Is not having a real estate license master rule? Okay, great question, Abdul. Thank you for asking. I forgot to go over that. So in New York, you don't need a real estate license to sell a business. In 36 states, you don't need a real estate license. 34 states, you don't need a real estate license to sell a business. In 16 states, you need a real estate license to sell a business. If you want, I could put the states in the chat. Alex, if you can just throw those in the chat, or Marlon,
Gotcha.
you could throw those in the chat. New York, you don't need one. Florida, you need one. I would, no matter what, whoever joins today, you're going to get a great deal. You're going to get half off. You should put together a corporation no matter what. So you get paid to your corporation so you can write off your expenses. Don't get paid to your name. You don't want to do that. If you get paid to your name, you're not going to be able to write off what you got to write off. You're going to create an LLC, create a corp. I can help you do that. And you're going to get paid to that corporation. Someone asked if we have buyers for the auto shop in Texas. Of course. We have so many buyers for auto shops in Texas. We have car washes in Texas. We just closed a restaurant in Texas. Texas is a hot market. It's the second biggest market. It's the third biggest market in the country. So anything in Texas, we have buyers for. SBA funding can take time to arrange, which is why seller financing, absolutely. Someone asked what stops owners from listing and selling the businesses themselves. Great question. So if you're an owner and you want to list the business yourself, you're not going to sell your business. It's impossible. It's so hard. It's not impossible. It's so hard to sell your business because you're kind of emotionally tied to your business. You need someone like me that I can get you way more money than if you try to sell it yourself. I know how to increase your value by adding seller. First of all, if you're willing to seller finance, I'll get you a way better multiple because the buyer will have a higher cash on cash return. You'll defer your capital gains taxes. I'll get any listing you put in front of me. That's how confident I am. But I'll get you the most amount of money. There's no way that an owner can get more money than someone like us. Someone asked, do you need to be a real estate agent? Depends what state. 16 states you need a license. Someone asked, are Canadians able to purchase through you? Yeah, we just helped someone in Thailand purchase a car wash in Connecticut. Anyone can, you can get an E2 visa and we can help you. We like helping people that need E2 visas. Joe, what are some taxes to negotiate with a landlord when purchasing a business specific to extending a lease? Great question. So if you're negotiating with the landlord, it's a long-term relationship, Joe. You're gonna tell the landlord, even if you gotta just let them know, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna make your shopping center busier. I'm gonna make your other stores in your shopping center busier. I'm gonna put money into it. I'm gonna redo the tunnel. I'm gonna put a new blacktop down. You're not gonna put that in the lease, but you're gonna let them know that you're gonna do work. You're going to increase, you're going to innovate, you're going to just sell them the dream. That's what you're going to do. That's what I do. So I just took over a car wash and I'm putting in a new tunnel. I'm putting down a new blacktop. I'm putting in membership. There's no membership. I'm innovating the space and I'm selling the dream. What if another broker brings a buyer? Typically, I don't co-broke. I like to have control on the buying side and the sell side. So it depends. If someone brought me a buyer, I would have to vet the buyer myself and make sure that they're real and they're ready to go. It's really important. And then if they do bring a buyer, then you would split the commission or you would give them a piece. What if property is involved? How is the commission paid on the property? So the commission on the property is always a little lower because no one gets 10%. I mean, sometimes I get 10% on properties, but typically 5 to 6% is standard for commercial real estate. And leases is 7s and 3s, which you can make. That's a good model. You get 7% on the first year, second year, third year, and then 3% of the remaining. So you get paid a quarter up front. You can negotiate all that stuff. Can you roll your commission into the equity of business? I'm going over that next. Guys. You're going to see what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm rolling my commission into deals. I'm owning car washes. I'm taking equity. I'm buying more deals with my commissions. And that's how I'm getting all this cash flow, is through using my commissions to buy businesses and putting no money out of my pocket. What if the seller doesn't want to pay the fee? Is it difficult to convince the buyer to pay the fee? So that's why we get listing agreements signed. So on the listing agreement, the seller has to pay the fee. If you don't have a listing agreement signed, then you got to hit the buyer up and you got to tell them before you send them the information, you got to get a buyer NDA fee agreement signed. I'll put that in the chat. Here are the states that require a real estate license. I'm going to throw it in the chat for everybody. Are there any overcomplicated industries that rookies best stay clear of until they get some experience? Good question, Eric. Hotels, the higher price point industries like hotels. If you're brand new, you don't want to get into the game and start talking about hotels with hotel owners because they're going to ask you questions like, you should be asking them questions like, what's your ADR? What's your RevPAR? What's your PIP? These little abbreviations you should know. So you shouldn't get into that space. You should stay, if you're a rookie, you should stay in the $100,000 to $500,000 market. Restaurants, pizzerias, bagel stores, laundromats, dry cleaners, liquor stores, things like that. Okay, I gotta stop here for a second because I'm gonna answer all these questions later, but I gotta get to the next section of this webinar. which I'm going to turn the camera. We went over the different ways to get listings, which is great. Now we're going to go over partnership. So everyone here has an opportunity to partner with me. I have relationships in every sector. I'm industry agnostic. I sell car washes, I sell hotels, I sell laundromats, I sell healthcare companies, I sell any business, trucking companies, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have the ability to partner with me, my contacts, my network, my deals, my pricing, everything. That's why you're here. You're gonna have my deal flow. I see on average about 100 to 150 new listings, new deals a week at this point. That's how many deals I see a week. So at this point in my career, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm looking to cherry pick my deals. So I sell businesses, but I stopped. Now I'm starting to buy everything. I don't want to call myself a fund. I call myself a partnership. I have to word it a little differently. So every deal that is good, that fits my teaser, my criteria, I'm buying right now. So that's why this is part of the community. Everyone that joins my community is going to have a chance to own these businesses with me, buy these businesses, contribute. I'm going to teach you how to source. If you join this community, I'm going to give you leads. I can give you more leads than you can. I can give anyone here more leads than they can handle. There's no way you can handle the amount of leads I can give you, but you got to be committed. So I'm going to teach you how to source. I'm going to give you buyer leads. I'm going to teach you how to get businesses. You're going to have my network is your network, and my philosophy in buying businesses, I'm going to go over a little bit. I have operators in all the spaces. So I have car wash operators, I have laundromat operators, I have restaurant operators, I have supermarket operators, and I have them invest in the businesses as well. And why do I do that? Why do I have someone put in the chat? Why do I have my operators invest in the businesses? What's the number one reason? Why do you think I have operators invest in businesses? See if someone can get it right. Does anyone know that answer? Yes. He got it. Daljeet answered it first. Skin in the game. So anyone that I do business with, if they're going to operate my business, they can't run away. They have to put skin in the game. It's crucial, or else I'm not doing it. I'm not taking a risk. I'm not working at the pizzeria. No way. So you're going to have all my 12 years of expertise when you join my community. So let's go over a couple of, did we hit everything? Vendors. Yeah, so let's go over a couple of deals that I'm investing in right now. As we're at 740 right now. So this is my deal that I'm putting together right now. You can't see it. I'm gonna explain it to everyone. So in New York, you can't build car washes. You only can buy existing car washes. By the time you get permits to build a car wash in Long Island, it's going to be 10 years. That's why they're so valuable. And right now I have a piece of 11. I own 2, 150%, 133%, and I own 11, it's a little smaller piece. But these are the ones I want to really push. So I have one in Nassau County right now. It's a car wash and an oil change. I have the exclusive listing. I have a great commission on it that I'm willing to roll into the deal. We're asking $900,000. The business cash flow is 200. So we're asking about a 4.5 time multiple. I could probably get this deal for 800. So we can get it at a 4. The beautiful thing about this deal, it's owned by PE, private equity, and we can get an SBA loan, but I'm going to push heavy for seller financing here to get this deal done fast. So right now, the PE group that owns it has never been there ever. They've owned it for 3 years. They've never been to the location. The inmates are running the asylum. The employees are running the business, and it needs management. It needs a little money. It needs a little lipstick. Once I put that lipstick in, once I put that management in place, once I tweak things and I plug holes, I'm going to get the $200,000, $220,000 cash flow. put $100,000 into it. I'm projecting to get a $400,000 cash flow in 12 months. Once I get that $400,000 cash flow, I'm going to sell this business for $2 million. So I'm going to be all in for about $950, and I'm going to sell it for $2 million in 1 year. So that's about $1 million profit in 1 year. So that's one deal that I'm offering to the group. I don't know the minimums yet, but this is a project that I already have an operator ready on, and we're going to take this one down. Number two, there's a 17-year lease left on this deal. The prices are very low. There's no membership. I'm probably going to buy the one across the street as well that I'm getting, and I'm going to control the whole area and control all the pricing. So this is a deal that's going to be a no-brainer. We're going to flip it for $1 million, or we'll keep it and make our money back in a couple of years. So that's in Nassau County. I picked up a car wash in Brooklyn. This is a hold. It's a hold because the cash flow is $400,000. It's same thing. It's owned by the same company. So I'm trying to do a package deal here. We're asking $900, so it's a 2x multiple because there's only 7 years left on the lease. Now, I'm going to speak to the landlord, and I'm not going to go forward if there's only 7 years. I'm going to get a 10-year extension. I'm going to get it to 17 years. I'm going to buy it for probably $800. I'm going to put in $100. I'm going to implement membership. I'm going to do combo deals with the lube. I'm going to put it on social media. I'm going to optimize everything on social media. I'm going to get that cash flow up. I'm projecting to 600, and we're going to hold it and make our money back in 1.5 years. This is a hold. This could be a hold too. This also could be a flip. I like money now, so I would like to flip it, make a quick $1 million in a year. This one I would hold. And these are the two deals these are my first 2 deals with the group that I want to bring everyone in if you're interested. And if not, I can show you how to get these types of deals. So we have these 2 car washes, and I have other deals as well that I can go over with you. I just picked up a food distribution business today that what they do is they deliver from Jet Row, which is like the restaurant depot, and they deliver to different restaurants. And I love this business. They're a delivery service for restaurants. So COVID, recession-proof, COVID-proof, not in the restaurant business, but you sell your goods to restaurants. There's always going to be business there. The business increases every week, which is tremendous. Every year, which is tremendous. Cash flow is about $1.5 million. Sellers willing to do financing. I have 75 restaurants for sale, so I can add immediate business to this business. And I feel like this is a business that we could take and explode it. So I have a good operator that would run this business. I could get this cash flow from $1.5 million. I'm projecting to $3 million. So this is another business that I'm thinking about bringing to the group. I need to learn a little bit more. I'm very comfortable with these 2 car washes. But this one's interesting too. And I have others as well, but it's 7:45. I want to answer more questions. Let's go through the questions. Please put more questions in the chat if you have any questions, and then I'll go over next steps. Are out-of-state business sites unseen, or do you physically visit them? So if I'm working on a deal out of state, I'm not, I do deals remotely at this point. You just got to finesse. You got to have a paper trail. Everything should be a paper trail. And you should have NDA signed, commission agreement signed, letter of intent signed. Everything should be papered up, and then you can do deals out of state. If you don't have anything papered up, people are going to go behind you. If you're already an agent, do you have to tell your brokerage, or do you have to split commissions with your brokerage? If you're an agent here and you want to do this, you can do this yourself. I'm not looking to get commissions on you. I have my own company, Headstone. There's people on this Zoom that are on Headstone. I'm going to teach you how to incorporate yourself and start your own business brokerage and do it yourself. So you can give your commissions to your brokerage or not. I don't know what kind of brokerage. Is it commercial, residential? It depends. How to deal with sellers not willing to go for seller financing when business. Okay, great question, Abdul. So if someone does not want to go with seller financing and they cannot traditionally finance the deal, the banks won't do it. I don't want to waste my time because no one's going to come up with all the cash. It's going to be very difficult to pay that much money up front if the business, if a business is $3 million and you got to come up with $3 million, I'd rather buy a building for $10 million with $3 million than buy something for $3 million. So you got to tell them, you got to finance. If you're not going to do it, I can't do it. You got to give in a little bit. I wouldn't waste my time. Remember, they need you, Abdul, more than you need them. Always keep that in your head. When it comes to hotels, do you usually phone the receptionist? No. When it comes to hotels, I go on LinkedIn. I find out who the decision maker is on. Matt, I know you're on LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn, find who the decision maker is. You don't want to speak to the gophers on the hotel business. You want to speak to the people who actually make the decisions. You want to DM them. If you can't get to them, speak to the people right under them. Don't talk to the receptionists. You could try it if nothing else works, but I usually go after higher end people. How to get through gatekeepers when calling businesses. What has worked best for you? So when I'm calling a business, I never say, I have a buyer for your business. Do you want to sell? I don't say that. I don't say, do you want to sell? I say, I have a business. I basically word it differently. I say, hi, Mr. Owner, how are you? And by the way, once you join this community, I hope you join, Abdul. You're asking great questions. You will look at all my podcasts, and I go through all different industries. I have 12 different industries. They're about 45 minutes each. And I'll teach you how to get through gatekeepers on each industry. So you'll know industry specific. So I'll call a restaurant. I'll say, listen, I have another restaurant in your area for sale. Are you interested in buying? I always hit them with the buy, Abdul. I don't hit them with the sell. And then they might say, I want to buy. If they say, I want to buy, you'll have another buyer. But if they want to sell, they're going to tell you they want to sell. Don't hit them with the sell yet, because then they'll be like, they won't think that you know what you're doing because you're not practicing confidentiality. Hit them with the buy first. Do buyers also pay commissions? Great question. For an example, yes, I'm selling a big shopping center right now, $70 million deal. I got a piece from the buyer and I got a piece from the seller. You got to finesse it that way, if you could, and I'll teach you that. Do you get paid up front if the purchase includes majority seller financing, since this is paid out over time? You get paid up front. I always get paid up front. Every time, if the deal is 90% seller financing, I just did a deal 90% seller financing Q, and I got the full commission up front. That's not going to change. Sometimes the owners will try to negotiate with you and say, listen, I'm taking a hit. Then I would work it out if I have to, but I always strive to get paid up front in all my deals, no matter what the seller financing is. It's a great question. Someone asked, how many businesses do you have? I have probably 15 different businesses, and I have a ton of businesses for sale. I have hundreds and hundreds of businesses for sale. Please dissect how commission is rolled into the deal on paper before money is moved. Please dissect how commission is rolled into the deal on paper. I don't understand before money and moved. I'll get back to that. The way I roll in the commission is I take equity. I take the commission and I put it into equity. And I'll go over that in the next, if you join. That's definitely something that we got to talk about. Does investing in the deals pay our profits, or is the equity kept until the sale? So we're going to get quarterly distributions. I'm going to go over that. Once you join today, I'm going to go over that. So I'm going to talk about joining today because we're at 7:50. So right now, everyone on this call has a chance to get a 50. I need a little skin in the game from all of you. If you're interested in this, if you're interested in deals, if you're interested in learning how to broker, how to set yourself up as a corporation, an LLC, whatever, to start brokering yourself. If you're interested in learning, getting involved with me and partnering with me on deals, I need a little skin in the game. So I'm putting a deal together for you. It's $2,000, but I'm cutting it to $897 today. If you pay today, I will get it for you for $897. Once you pay, you will get dropped into my community. You'll have access to my whole course. You'll have access to my podcast. You'll have access to everything I'm building in the community. I'm gonna have deals in there. I'm gonna have podcasts. I'm gonna have educational content, and it's gonna be life-changing. You'll make that back. If you just put your head down and work at this, you can make that back in a second. So we're gonna drop that in the chat in a second. How to overcome an objection if people don't want to go exclusive. I assume this would be a common objection. Everyone doesn't want to go exclusive in the beginning, but you've got to provide value. Abdul, you better sign up. I swear you will love it. This is your deal junkie. I can tell all these good questions. So no one wants to sign an exclusive, but you got to show that value. You got to show why. You got to have that control. You got to tell them why you have to have that control. Give me a shot. I will show you. I will get your business done, and no one will know anything. And we'll go over that if you join. We'll go over that. Everything. We're gonna have webinar Monday with. We're gonna have a car wash university webinar Monday with someone that owns 10 car washes. Whoever joins, and he's a CEO of the group. It's $100 million portfolio that he owns, and we're gonna be going over just so much cool stuff. Is there a commission percentage taken out when working for your brokerage? So this group, good question, K3. This group is for you. Headstone is my brokerage. Headstone's a different deal. Headstone's a totally different deal. I'm trying to help everyone here start their own stuff. So you're gonna get your own fees. I'm gonna give you the paperwork. You join today, you'll have all my paperwork, you'll have all the documents you need, anything you need, I'm gonna give to you. And you're gonna have all my access and my network. Friday night, I'm putting that work in. Hell yeah, man. No days off, Christian. We don't take days off here. What's the main difference between joining this community or joining Headstone? So this community is a little different. You're gonna be doing deals yourself, but you're gonna have my guidance. Headstone it's kind of exclusive at this point. I'm not really hiring more brokers. I've been pushing that for 2 years. This, I'm going to focus more on this right now, and I'm going to help everyone do their own deals. And I'm just going to help you. I'm just going to help you just like I would help you at Headstone. But right now, Headstone's a different entity, and there's not a real difference. It's just you're doing it for yourself. You don't have to join a brokerage, and you're going to learn about the deals that I invest in. You're going to be invested with me. If you want to invest in deals with me, you can invest in deals with me as well here. Yeah, Nick Martello, he joined. Nick, I don't know if you want to unmute, tell everyone what happened to you. You were working at Rikers Island as a corrections officer. Now, what are you making?
Yeah, so I worked at Rikers Island for 6 years, and I met Mike in February of 2024, and I already made over 200 grand commission to myself. So,
and what have you learned?
Everything. I'm gonna be investing in deals now with Mike. We're looking to buy a car wash together. So just trust me, $897 is nothing compared to what you're gonna make.
I appreciate that, Nick. And we talk all the time. He's just adding so much value. He's gonna have his own team, and he's just if you're gonna put the work in, do it. If you're not gonna put the work in, don't do it. I don't need the $897 from you, but if you're gonna put the work in, it's gonna be the best decision of your life.
Either be in or out.
So, Marlon, drop the payment link in the chat right now, or Alex, drop the payment link in the chat right now. And if you're on Instagram, if anyone's on Instagram watching this, DM me and I'll get you the link. But it's only for today that you're gonna get this deal. So the way you start is you sign up right now, pay the $897, you're gonna get dropped into your portal. You're gonna see my course, you're gonna see my podcast. Every day I'm building new videos for you. I'm adding more value. And on Monday or Tuesday next week, we're gonna do a call with Ken Weiner, CEO, Empire Car Wash Group, 10 locations on Long Island. And you're going to hear from him on how to do due diligence on car washes. And then we're going to do a car wash university next week as well. And then we're going to dive into a ton of other things. So I appreciate everyone for coming on. Hold on, is there another question? Can you say the difference between this and Headstone? Headstone's pretty much tapped out right now. I'm all in on this right now because I'm speaking about investing in these deals, and I'm twisting the model a little bit here with investing and helping other people start their own business brokerage firms. So it's basically the same thing, but you're going to have your own business.